Welcome to our lovely future humans, our lovely 5D collective. To those who did tune in to last night's late HP show, this one's going to be some 5D Mystic Mentor stories, and then we'll have the HP show at some other point. But it was removed due to me wanting to make sure to get that which is truth, love, and fear across to you in the personal spiritual growth way. And as we close on out the year, the plans are going to be, let's see, we got about 20-ish days left to get a couple of digital products to you. Our podcast, Spotify, all that content has been completed, and we're going to leave it that way. So there's a folder for those of you new, and I'm going to get back to doing lives as soon as I get comfortable and situated. And there's more to come. But in the meantime, truth is that anybody who knows the truth doesn't need to actually prove it. And that's the part of where ego and self, when you have an emotionally and mentally intelligent person, they work together. And it's a integrated brain person with a ventral vagal state. So you'll find that the ones who want to argue of truth are the same ones who disregard learning what a human is made of. They tend to like to think of their being evil and good in a way that is of a child's book. That's how I'm going to bring it to you. And so, yeah, here's where I had good Christian Catholic upbringing, and I have good attachment trauma educators, and it's pretty straightforward. Emotionally intelligent people, they're the mentally intelligent ones because they're not argumentative about data, and they don't dismiss that which is academia. They don't dismiss any kind of piece of information. They don't cherry pick. Okay, so the capacity for reactive, adaptive child part people, which is left-brained ego, is to completely ignore the fact that they are cherry picking and that their sentences don't make sense. That's the part. So truth to me is, I have a subjective experience, so do you. But truth is, I know where facts come from. I'll take a Neil deGrasse, let him talk down to me any day if he wants, because I'm a mystic, so I'm a pseudoscience, right? And I will take another expert, anyone who's acting as if they are one of these. I will allow myself to leave it alone, because already when someone in general talks down to anybody else, I got a person who's in the moment thinking that they know everything, but feeling that what they know is a fact. And so this is why I leave it, because one, I'm 4'9", but two, I'm emotionally, mentally intelligent enough to be empowered to understand that I'm dealing with what I would say is a ignorant human being who lacks the capacity to remember what subjective experiences are, and also that you're talking to a person. And that's why ego, biologically rude people, they're not trying to be rude, like Stephen Porges points out. And so they will talk down because they actually think they do know more than you. Ego does that. So in the opposite end of the spectrum, what I can tell you, I know I can come across as, is a person who will think that my way of life is better than another way. I've had people tell me that. And so one of my friends is like, you say that higher, lower, it doesn't matter, but it does seem like you think you live a better life. And I say to my friend, I say, look, so, I do personal growth, spiritual growth. He's also had experiences with the Reiki and other things, and I've helped him, and I continue to help him. He knows all about the bad therapists out there. I try telling him, look, they're not all bad. There's plenty of healed ones. Mystics don't replace them, so please, don't think that they're not good. Unfortunately, here's what happens when people begin to have bad experiences, and then they continue to act like children do, because that's where ego will be a child. I don't want to do the diet. I got intrigued because I'm a grown woman who's like, wow, and I'm attachment trauma educated, and it just intrigued me, because by the third day I'm like, whoa, you're really making a big deal out of this diet. Because I know what ego does, it wants control. I don't need control over Maria. I'm the master of her. Okay, so yourself and your ego work together. That's because you got an integrated brain. Your corpus callosum, it's down-regulated. This is what it means. So in the sense of self, and then to be that which is called pure piece of consciousness. So human elements to spirituality. People who live spirituality have a solo self. They don't only think of their emotional best interest. They think of their emotional, mental, and then if somebody, oh, you hurt my feelings, it doesn't have to be saluted. I don't know that person. They're a stranger. But the next time I saw them, I reiterated my firm but very soft boundaries, because I don't need to get in a person's face and become rude like they. I feel that I'm sad. They think it's about decency, but really also they were with a person. So I acknowledge them. That was my compromise in an effort to respectfully let another human being know you're not decent, but I don't want to be your friends. This is 3 consistent years of being a stranger to this person. Just FYI. Healthy, self-worth, empowered, emotionally speaking people have words for it. And they will not say you could have da 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 da. They will say you gave that which is called sovereign boundaries or something like that. So that's why emotionally intelligent people, they're mentally intelligent, they know all about attachment trauma education, and they will know when I describe a story. This was in a live where I got to have that lovely interaction, that which is something called, what happened was no, like, wow, no surprise. And on the other hand, what I got from the men is, did you say it right? Because you know, Maria, you're in the polyamory community, you're a mistake, you're affectionate, you also use words wrong, so did you say it right? The women had 2 ways they handled it, and one was, really, why are you not their friend? I don't want to be their friend. You could have gotten in their face, teach them a lesson. You have a right to be angry, get correcting them. No, I don't need to do either of that, because the biologically rude human being played out a pity party while they were drunk because they got rejected, all of that. But besides all of it, at least you looked at me, was the confirmation that a low self-esteem, indirect communicator, passive aggressive, on the anxious scale of lovely terrestrial, which is their boundaryless, actually let out what they were harboring this entire time. And in the meantime, I'm thinking, that's not how I behaved when I was being avoided by someone, because they didn't know how to tell me that they didn't like hugs. And once they finally were able to come out with, I don't like being touched, I was like, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to. And I meant it, not because I did something wrong, because I didn't mean to actually invade their space, but they didn't speak up. So I wasn't knowing of it. So I'm not going to stop hugging people, but I did learn how I should be aware of it now. And so here, let me continue with the story because it's hilarious. And so fast forward, now I'm friends with this person. They hug me all the time. We're always hugging. I have a group of people. There's one who picks on me every now and then, but he's awesome. I love the man. He's cute. I love a lot of people though. Remember, that's the so yes, we love all people, but no, we're not friends with all people. All of God's children are cherished, but no, I don't hang out with unhealthy self-worth ones, the ones that are like this anxious guy. And as for the ones who are unhealthy, we get to figure out our sweet spot, because I'll reiterate healthily that which is Maria's spaces and that which is not, and stuff like that. So long story short, this one person who likes to pick at me in a group meeting, they present to me someone that they know, and I shake their hand instead of hugging them. And this person says, so you don't hug everybody because they know I'm a hugger, but also because they like to make fun of me. And I look at them and I say, well, you see, this is what happened. And so I explain to them and I say, I'm okay with hugging you. If you're okay with me hugging you, I'll hug you. And I hug them, and so there you go. So truth, love, fear, easy. Fear is actually the most uncomfortable of every one of the emotions, because, anger, great. When you're empowered, you're mastering it. So you like to know how to master all of your emotions. That's what emotionally intelligent people do. We don't yell at our ego. I did that. We get intrigued and we laugh because we're Krishna Leela. I'm curious, because that's how it works with the elasticity of your mental, emotional, and physical planes when you're a mystic, spiritual, or just mindful. And so people who are going to be themselves, they're like, why do they need you? They won't need me. They'll want me. Why? Because they like to be themselves, and dealing with unknowns, uncertainties, unexpecteds from within while giggling at it. The practices are amazing. That's why the digital products, they're going to, anyone who likes to do it. I know I love to do it. And then I'm looking to think how to organize some of that activity that we might be able to do together for the 8th and 9th chakra particularly. So stay tuned for that. But yeah, truth, love, and fear, they are easy for us. Intelligent people, we are looking for the good professionals. And so when somebody looks for a mentor who knows what they're talking about, it's because they know what they want in life and they like to use going with the flow. So neuroplasticity, it's really fun. And when it comes to God, he did create us perfect, our ventral vagal state, and every human has it. It's just that every human gets lucky and is set up to succeed in life. They will not have self-regulation because they didn't get it. And so when you meet Patrick Tian, a really awesome childhood trauma survivor, healed and healing therapist, he'll say it. Parents set up children to not succeed because they've given them bad nervous system. And the ones who want to wrap their little finger and dismantle modern day therapists are the very good example of one of the many who disregards that they're not the experts, and yet millions follow them. Do you know why? They're not truth tellers. They distort truth. And then they look at people like me and they say, compassion? No way. How dare you tell me to have compassion? I'm going to teach them a lesson. I have a right to correct. How dare you be equanimous? You have no opinion, neutral lady. And you don't do any of anything. I mean, they don't look at you like that, but neutral, so you don't have an opinion. I do. I just don't express it in a way that makes it a fact. Oh, so you do have, yes, but I don't do it that way. Again, yeah, no, so emotional intelligence, not a soft skill, a badass skill. Join us as we continue. So we might have some IHP show stuff on the same topic tomorrow, or we might have some more stories. But in the meantime, ego and self, they get along with intelligence and intellect and heart, and it's really fun. To be a mystic too. So the freedom is yours to come together in harmony and find a resolution between two sides. And then as you, I love to love, and my baby, he loves to laugh and live and learn, expand, and not cast stones. How you use your voice and your mind make a difference. And if you welcome expanding yourself, catch a falling star and put it in your pocket, never let it fade away. So we continue to, when you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Yes, we do. And that's why God is awesome. So is Akash Source Anima Mundi. Oh, and there's always cosmic karmic balancing. So children of God who are in communion, whether they call themselves mystic, spiritual or not, whether they call God Source Akash, doesn't matter. You know why we're at ease in here? Because our brothers and sisters are all saved. The good therapist saved them. Then they get to have fun in the playground of our embodied brains together because we do personal and spiritual growth here at HP. And so we inspire human potential, bring in the A game, and that's why everything in moderation, remember, and that's because we don't do the addictions in the way of those who actually ignore Gabor Mate or ignore Neil deGrasse, and that's because we do want to leave a legacy behind. And the future's always improved. The ones who want to stay in the cave, watch a short. They don't have to join the smart ones. We're not brilliant. We are just stable, mature, adaptive, rational, teachable as you get to be yourself the real way. And ego and self have a team party going on. And we have a full moon coming up, so we're going to get ready from some channel guidance and some other stuff that came up from our raps on YouTube and on Spotify. So subscribe, tune in, have a great one.